Alright, we have a new film in the Mad Max franchise. It's titled Furiosa, and today I'm going to give you my review. There's only one question.
Do you have it in you to make it epic?
Alright, that's right from the intro. We are going to review the new Mad Max movie, Furiosa. Now, a couple things before we get started here. Furiosa was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. One, because I've never seen a Mad Max movie, I didn't know what it was like. And two, because I thought the trailers looked pretty good, and I really liked the aesthetic of it, and I was really excited to actually get to jump into the franchise before watching it, and that I did. My next video will be a Mad Max ranking, so stay tuned for that. But I was super excited to get to go to the theater and sing it with all the early buzz. People saying it's on par with Dune Part 2 and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes for their favorite movies of the year. I was super excited, but did I think it was that good? I'll tell you right here in this video. But before I get started, please make sure to join me down below in the comment section. Tell me, what did you think of Furiosa if you have seen it? Do you think it is epic, one of your favorite movies of the year? Or do you think it's a little bit disappointing? I want to know all that and more. And while you're down there, subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the bell so you never miss another video. And with that said, Furiosa is pretty good. I didn't think it was on par with Dune Part 2. Definitely not on par with that or with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but I think it's a pretty good film. So, some things, just to get right off the bat, this is a movie that you need to go see on the biggest screen possible. I went to see it on the biggest screen possible. That's not an IMAX because IMAX is expensive. I kind of went to my only IMAX movie of the year. That was Madam Web. I feel like I should have went to go see this movie instead of that in IMAX. But man, seeing this on Marcus Theaters Super Screen DLX is incredible. I mean, go see this on the biggest screen possible. It visually is fantastic. Mad Max Fury Road just has all this aesthetic and the beautiful look of it. This movie has the aesthetic and the beautiful look at it. I think it is so pretty and so cool to look at with great cinematography by George Miller. And I just think it is hands down incredible the way this movie looks. And then the action sequences, there's light on action for the first, I'd say, hour, 15 minutes. We'll get onto that later on. But for the final, I'd say, hour and a half, it's a full-blown action movie just like Fury Road, and just like Fury Road, the action sequences are incredible. They always have that sped-up effect. They always have that violent effect. You always feel every punch, feel every death, feel everything that's happening. I genuinely just rewatched Fury Road about 2-3 hours ago from filming this. It's like 10:30 at night. I gotta film this video now because I am leaving for Tennessee tomorrow morning. So I gotta film a couple videos to get that out. It's my senior trip. But anywho, I just watched Mad Max Fury Road, and they all got the same type of action. This action movie, I don't think it has as memorable sequences as Fury Road, but I still think there were some great action sequences near the end, and it was just, again, so awesome to see that on a massive screen with great cinematography. I absolutely loved watching the action sequences. To the cast now. Anya Taylor-Joy is not as good as Charlize Theron was in Fury Road, but she's still pretty good, and I think she captures what Charlize Theron's able to do in a younger version. No, I don't think Theron and Anya Taylor-Joy look perfect together. I don't think they got the same look. So when they announced that Anya Taylor-Joy was in this role, I was a little bit nervous because I know she doesn't look like Charlize Theron, and I think they work it out. They make her look like Furiosa, and I think it kind of works there. And Anya Taylor-Joy's still a pretty good actress. The big standout, obviously, that you'll hear on any review you watch is Chris Hemsworth as Dementus. The very first hour, I was like, yeah, he's a villain, but I don't see the hype. This is coming from somebody that doesn't necessarily absolutely adore a Morton Joe. So I just didn't see the hype. But once we get to the end of it, like to the last hour, hour and a half, man, Chris Hemsworth has some time to shine. He absolutely goes bat crap crazy. He goes off the walls, is insane inside this movie. He has some monologues here that I'm still thinking about. They are absolutely chilling and awesome. And I genuinely just loved him in this role. I thought he was perfectly cast. And I do really like that this film is technically a saga, where it's a movie that takes place over several decades. It's not as familiar as a lot of the other movies are. Last week, I just watched all the Mad Max movies. I just binged them all, and they're all kind of familiar, especially the 80s ones. They all have the 80s stuff that happens in between them, and then we got at the end where it's always just a big chase. Every single movie has that. Even Fury Road just ends with a big chase. This movie has something different. It has a little bit of spice, and again, we'll talk about that later on. But I even loved how the movie's a revenge thriller, because the end is not just a big chase, it's a big revenge, and it feels personal to our lead character. So I really like that aspect in this movie. Oh yes, I had a lot of things I liked about the movie. The cast, the visuals, the action, that was all great, but I do still have a few little reservations with the film. Number one, that first hour and 15 minutes is hit or miss for me. As I said, I do like that it's a saga. I do like that it gives a little bit more flavor and spice to the franchise of Mad Max, but for me, I just personally think that the first hour and 15 minutes was paced really, really odd, to where we'd have the beginning where it's just this long action sequence, this whole chase across the desert, and I thought it was really awesome. But then we just kind of slowed to a crawl. We're establishing everything. We're setting up our characters, seeing where they were at before Fury Road, and I just kind of, it was interesting, but I kind of earned for an action sequence here or two. And when we got to the action sequence and it turned into a tried and true Mad Max movie, that's where I really started to enjoy this movie. The rest of the movie just kind of felt like, yeah, it's a saga, yeah, it's a prequel, but it does what prequels do and has to set up so much stuff in this rich world of Mad Max that there's often times that the pacing can slow to a crawl. And you feel the runtime. I felt the runtime. Mad Max Fury Road is a movie that has all these themes and can handle all this stuff and merge it in just a 2-hour movie. This movie is 2 hours and 28 minutes, and you feel that. You can shave so much of this movie off. I 100% felt the runtime. Even in the action sequences, I felt like this could have been shaved off, or this could have been shaved off, and there was way too long of a movie that could have definitely been shaved down as well. So this is kind of just like a little bit of a nitpick. I don't like the title, A Mad Max Saga. It should have been A Wasteland Saga or something alongside that, because we don't see Mad Max. Mad Max is not in this movie whatsoever, so the title is just, I didn't expect Mad Max to be in it, but when I got home from thinking about it, I definitely thought that I'm not the biggest fan of that title. So I still do think Furiosa was a good movie. I still recommend you see it on the biggest screen possible. It's cinematic achievement. It looks great, and people need to go see it because this movie is flopping big time. I love the action sequences, but there's so much that you could have shaved off, and the pacing was just a little bit odd, but I do think that it fits chronologically. I like a lot of the things that we see. I think the prequel stuff was very interesting and kind of showed us some other things. When you watch Fury Road, it all fits in there. But another thing is, I can't figure out if I think this movie should have been made. I genuinely got home from the theater and thought to myself, that was good, I liked it, but did it need to be a movie? Did it need to be made? George Miller, rather, is always saying that he wanted to tell the story for years and years, but I just can't see a reason for this to, like, be a thing. Sure, it gives us some insightfulness to Fury Road, but Fury Road's able to explain a lot of stuff that we're just shown here in 2 hours. So I feel like just a little bit of this movie was a little unnecessary. Yes, it looks great. Yes, the action sequences are great. Yes, I was entertained near the end, but it had so many problems with the film as well, and I just could not find a reason to say, if I lived in a world where this movie didn't exist, I don't think anything would be different about me and my taste in movies. I know that there are people that are going to hate that take, people that love this movie so far, and I thought it was really good, but I just can't really see a reason for it to truly exist. Yes, I did like the movie. Yes, my final score at the end of Furiosa, A Mad Max Saga, should have been titled A Wasteland Saga, is going to be a B+. I did really enjoy the movie. I highly recommend you go check it out on the biggest screen, but be warned, the movie does very, very much drag at some spots. It's a little overlong, and if you're like me, you're not going to see a true reason why this should completely be a movie. But that is my review of Furiosa, A Mad Max Saga. I'm going to record my Mad Max ranking here, and then I'm going to record my Hunger Games ranking. All these videos are going to come out this week, so thank you for clicking on this one. Tell me down below your thoughts on Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, and with that said, subscribe to Golden Army. Peace out.